Welcome back, everybody, to SPL Live, recapping Week 6 of what just passed this past weekend with the Mid Season Showdown. My name is Anthony. I am joined by the one and only well-known Pokemon player within our community, T Thunder Cheeks Watson, and then we have a special guest today, the winner of the Mid-Season Showdown, Chris Daddy Davis, taking it down with a relatively well-known deck.
Garbage deck.
Garbage deck. Very, very bad. But yeah, the Mid-Season Showdown just passed this past weekend, of course, being hosted by Hammerhead, our main affiliate, our main shop. Love you guys over there. Thank you, Adrian, for hosting the event. But you know, we start off, and we'll go ahead and pull up the standings from it right now. And I guess what we could do is let's kind of just talk about Swiss rounds first. Okay. I think you guys both played. You both had different results based off of your play. But I want to start with T. First, give us your deck choice, and then let us know how that turned out for you.
No. Let's go with how the day started. Chris came over to me and goes, "Hey, what are you playing today?" And I go, "I'll tell you this. I'm either going to go 4-0 or 0-4. And he looked at me and said, "Same."
Yeah, I did.
And he ended up winning the event, and I was very close to last place. So, we were correct on those statements. So I chose to play Single Strike Gengar because I thought it was a decent meta pick. Probably not for best of ones.
Nope.
But I thought it was a strong deck going into like a Field of Guardy, maybe Mew because it's best of one, so people might want to play Mew, which 2 people did. And it did not turn out well for me. I went 1-4.
Oh man.
So yeah, that's how my Swiss rounds went.
Yeah, I would label that as a pretty disappointing day. Chris, on the other hand, you had a slightly better day.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So what was it like, Swiss rounds? You know, we all know what deck you played. For anybody that was there, he posted it. It was Reggie's.
Yeah,
Who would have
Reggie's?
Who would have thunk it? But how'd it go for you?
Well, obviously pretty good.
Yes.
Considering I won. So yeah, it's kind of funny the matches I played. So I played like Miraidon round 1, Lost Zone Tina round 2, Lost Box round 3, and then I ID'd my last 2 rounds.
Yeah.
But then going into the top 8, I played Lost Box, Lost Zone Tina, and then Miraidon in the finals.
Yeah.
So it was just like a reverse.
Jeez, yeah.
So
Yeah. Were any did you find any difficulty with any of the matches in particular?
Only scary thing was running into decks that had the Lost City in it. So both Miraidon decks had the Lost City.
Yeah.
The only real issue with the deck is 1, it bricks. It's known to brick, and then 2, it's hard to get the energy you need into the discard to take advantage of the Regigigas ability.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Wisdom.
I was lucky enough to watch some of your matches on stream. You did really well. I did see a couple of times where you ran into some issues, but I think that's the benefit with Reggie's for playing single prizers. 1, they're bigger than the average single prizers right now. I mean, most people think of Lost Box. And then 2, they only give up a prize when you get knocked out. So you have the ability to recover, and there were so many big decks that were being played yesterday, like you said, the Miraidons, the Tinas, the Palkias, and things like that you could take a couple of KOs against yourself and still be able to come back. Yeah. And you navigated the deck really, really well. I would like to give a huge, thumbs up to this man. He only played maybe like 6 hours worth of the deck prior to the event.
Yeah, the night before, I hung out with my sons, AJ and Francis.
Yep.
And yeah, I built the deck when I was with them. I played 3 matches against each of them, so 6 in total, and then that's it.
Yeah, and I mean, to go into an event where you do have a lot of the top trainers that were there playing, Francis, T, Mike, and so on, and to navigate that field so well with a deck that you weren't familiar with was really, really awesome. T, on the other hand, once again, we all kind of know that he had a pretty troubling day playing Gengar Single Strike, which is a deck that he's actually very familiar with, because we both played that one a whole lot. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and bring up the standings from the Swiss rounds. We see Chris, of course, went 3-0-2. he and Tanner both ID'd, hence the reason why you see Tanner second, going 302. Mike Jimenez, playing Maridon, did really, really well, 3-3 or 3-1-1. JJ had one heck of a day. He was actually the person that Chris wound up beating in the finals.
He was my other ID.
Yeah.
Too.
So, that Clayton had a really solid day coming in. He was running Palkia with Chen Pao. And, I mean, him and who else was playing that? It was Luis.
Luis was playing it with Gardevoir. But
yeah. It was, but you've seen a pretty neat diversity of decks that made it in. After that, Andrew was playing Lost Box Tina
without Manaphy.
Which
crazy.
No, but a lot of the lists now play it without the Manaphy, which is pretty insane.
Crazy to me.
And then
ballsy, but it worked out for him.
And then Avery came in and he had a really solid day.
Lost Box.
Yeah, Lost Box as well. Now Robert Shorter, Ryan Massey, both of them bubbled out. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get in. And then you have Duncan playing Mew, Vince, AJ, Tyler, Francis, T, Mike, Francis, and then unfortunately Chris Klee wound up not being able to pull out any W's for the day. But that was Swiss as a whole. Top 8 once again went into there. The matchups were really insane. I give a huge shout out to Chris for doing what he did, but Luis was somebody else that
he deserves the real shout out.
He definitely deserves a shout out.
He got into top 8 playing Palkia, going up against 2 Maridons back to back, and he won one of the matchups on stream, which you'll probably see some of the highlights as we go through. But yeah, like what was it like going into top 8 for you? What were you kind of thinking about? Like what aside from the matchups that were playing the Lost Cities, were there any other ones that you were like, that feels like a tough one?
No, honestly, no.
Yeah,
Lost Box pretty even back and forth. Same with Tina. It's actually bad for Tina if they actually play the Tina.
That's what that's what I've seen, honestly, as well. So. Yeah, it was just one of those things where it feels like you have the ability to take big KOs on their Pokemon, and then the Lost Box, they have to do so much damage calculation with the pings of the Sableye and everything else that it's like, cool, I've taken 3 prizes and you set up a 3-prize turn when I only have 2 prizes left. So good job, do it again. So I mean, Reggie's. It's funny enough, Reggie's feels like it has a good matchup in the current meta.
It's got good matchup spread, I would say, but it's just navigating it and doing what you need to do is its biggest weakness, I would say. I definitely agree with that.
T, as we move into the back end of the season, we look at the top 14 or the Elite 14. What are there any surprises that you have that you can think of right now?
Aside from maybe 12 to 14, everything else kind of looks as I predicted. Chris made the shoot up to 4th with 62 points now. He's tied with Terry. AJ's sitting at 5th place. Tanner got shot up to 60 points. No, everything's looking about as much as I predicted. Maybe like 1 or 2 people have fallen off a little bit, but other than that, no, it kind of wound up as I expected. Not as great for me because I wanted to win more than one match, but we take what we can get here.
Yeah, and then Chris, once again, we just got done doing the Mid Season Showdown. A lot of extra points going out from that. What for you kind of stands out in the Elite 14 as we head into the back end of the season?
To me, I feel like those last 4 spots, they can go to anybody.
Yeah.
There's a solid, I'd say 8 to 10 players that could take any of those last 4 spots.
Yeah, and I agree. When you look at the Elite 14, the outside looking in, that 15 through 20, I would say is you have a bunch of high quality trainers that are right there on the cusp of being able to get in. Even if you look at 13 and 14 and 15, which is Luke, JJ, and Soren, all of them are tied with 52 points. It really just comes down to win percentages right now. And, Soren, unfortunately, wasn't able to make it to the Mid-Season Showdown. So you can only imagine what he would have been able to accomplish, even though he ended the season with the week with a 4-0 at CCC. So there's so much potential on the outside looking in, and you really kind of got, if you're in the Elite 14, I think you have to be looking back and going, oh, I need to keep this up as much as possible. Now, both of you guys have had really good success in previous seasons. Chris was our Season 1 SPL Cup points leader or winner, and T was up there in the very beginning. Do you guys have any advice for some of the trainers that are on the cusp of getting in, or even the trainers that are in but are close to being bounced out or bubble out? You guys have any advice for them? T, I'll start with you.
Play a deck that you're comfortable with. That's about it. Play a deck that you're comfortable with, and try to trainer battle either people at the top or people around your area to kind of, one, bump your numbers up, but bumping people down is kind of what I'm going for. But Francis won't trainer battle me.
Davis, anything from you?
Yeah, I'll kind of piggyback off T here. I think you should play something that you like playing and you're comfortable playing with, that you feel like you play well.
Yeah.
I know personally I've been just kind of playing a different deck every week.
Same.
And I know others are doing that, but I feel like if you really want to stay in the top 14, you should play something that you feel like you're strong with.
Yeah. And that's, I actually agree with that a lot. I think, and this is outside looking in, be it that I haven't really played that much the past couple of weeks, is I feel like I'm in this boat where, as a trainer, there's not really a deck that I'm in love with right now.
I feel
and
that,
it's and it's hard finding something that I can feel super confident in. But I guess from that standpoint, I just go with the things that I feel like I played the most, which is primarily Lost Box. I called Tina being one of the more popular decks for us heading into this season, and I'm going to keep bringing that up as T didn't even have it in his top. But it's one of those things where, I agree with that. And then just being consistent with it, showing up to certain locals and making sure that you're trying to at least get your points as often as possible. But it's pretty crazy to look at this and see where everybody's at. And I'm really excited to see how all this unfolds heading into the final back end of the season. But moving from there, guys, I really would love to jump into our next segment, Fact or Fiction. Now that I have both of you here, this is going to be something where we're going to touch base a little bit on what we talked about the first time that we did Fact or Fiction, and then we're going to maybe throw in some new twists. Now, when we first initially talked about everything T, I brought up the fact that, are we going to see Mike repeat as points leader? And now we see him dip after week 6 after the midpoint. What's your take now? Because originally you said no because you were gonna win.
Yeah.
Where are you at with that? Fact or fiction? Mike will still win points cup.
I'm still gonna say it's fiction. Mike's not gonna win it. I think Mike is more gung ho on winning the trainer battle championship for the season. So. And he's at a good spot. He's at 9th, so he's not going anywhere from the top 14 as long as he stays consistent. So fiction.
Yeah, I unfortunately have to say fiction too. He's
11 points back.
Yeah, he's pretty far back. If he can get like 4-0s from here on out and keep winning trainer battles, and then sure, he could potentially take it. But based off the performance I've seen from the past few weeks, I would say it doesn't seem likely. But I definitely believe in Mike. Mike's a great player.
Fact.
And he could do it, but just based off performance lately, I'd say fiction.
Yeah, I know, and I actually agree with that. But moving on to the next one. Sorry, Mike, you're just not cut out for this season. Moving on to the next one. Are we still going to see more than half the trainers in the SPL Championship be new trainers in this season? We answered it before. You said yes, T. Do you still feel the same? Or no, same. We'll go with Davis first this time.
Yeah.
Chris, do you feel like we're going to see at least half of the spots of the championship series go to new trainers?
I'm going to say fiction based off what I see right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of the top
Tyler
14.
and JJ and
In
Titus
Clayton.
and Clayton.
Yeah.
There's only about four of them in there. So less than 50% is new trainers.
Yeah.
The ones that are trying to sneak in too, they're all basically veterans to the league. So
Kinda.
Soren, Francis, Andrew.
Well, Francis didn't play last season.
Oh, he
so
didn't.
no.
Okay, so there's two there
Yeah.
that could make it in.
And Apple.
And Avery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Emmanuel played, but you still have Carlo, this is his first season, and he's taken his bye week.
Yeah.
So he hasn't played, so
So
he's
he
going to be
hasn't
able
been
to double
to
up as
come
well.
up.
Yeah.
Now, I think the big thing when you look at this is you have to realize that a good amount of those trainers didn't show up to the mid-season showdown, so they did put themselves a little bit behind the 8 ball. But I still think that there's a good chance that a good amount of them still can make it in.
Yeah.
Like we said, 4 currently are in the top 14?
Yeah.
So it really just takes 3 of them. And when you have Avery knocking at the door, Apple, who's a really, really good player.
Francis is at 16. So.
Francis is at 16.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you have the makings of what potentially could be a very new set of faces
Yeah.
heading into the Elite 14. So that's going to be.
I'm hopeful. I'm gonna hold out hope.
Yeah. Okay. So is that where you're at with
Yep.
it?
I'm
You still
at
think
that.
that it's going to
Yep.
be the case?
Yep.
Fiction.
Fiction.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on to the next one. This is one that I still hold near and dear to my heart. Is Chris Davis and Henry going to still make it into the Elite 14?
I was right. I'm just saying he's already at 4th. I'm telling you, I know Henry is focused on Worlds.
Henry's at 22nd though still. With Worlds being a thing, he's still sitting at 22nd.
But still, he's already leaving now.
I get it.
Worlds is in a week. He's not gonna make up 2 weeks, and he's done not great the last few weeks either.
We're just counting his points from Worlds.
Oh, by the way, Henry, win or don't come home.
If he wins, we count his points.
Oh God, yeah.
I think that's fair. I feel like that's fair. We have to put that to a vote.
Yeah.
He would be a Worlds champion.
If he wins Worlds, yeah, we'll shoot him the first. Shoot.
So let's do this then. Let's switch this over, right? So Davis, who was a front runner to win the season, the championship first season, and I think taking the last season off, coming back refreshed, man on a mission, and really kind of putting in the time and the effort. Now, once again, he won with Reggie's. If you didn't already listen to that or you skipped it, Davis going to win the championship this season.
No.
No, because it's still going to be me.
That's a great reason, T.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
You don't have to.
The only season that he's played, he went to the championship,
Yep.
lost to Henry, which that one was crazy in its own right.
That's fair.
And look at him
I
now.
did the same thing too for that.
Yeah.
I played a deck I never played before.
I know, but so did I. I played Mew.
It's Ant's fault that
Mew
Henry
Genesect.
won.
Yeah, Henry even admitted it finally. So I played. Did I tell you what I played? I played Mew Genesect Dialga
Oh, okay.
And he prized 3 metal energies in
For the
game
win.
3.
for the win. It was terrible, but I don't know. I mean, I know you're very what's the word? You don't really
doesn't like
praise
to boast.
yourself.
He's humble.
Yeah, but the fact is, where you look where you started at the season, right? Because there was a couple
Yeah, I
weeks
think
where
I got 5 points the first week.
Yeah.
And 3 points the second week.
and just since then, the work that you put in, you are now 4th. You won the mid-season showdown. You got the gorgeous mat.
I'm happy about that map,
Yeah,
by the way.
that mat is
Shout out to Nico.
Yeah,
for,
that mat
for
is
making that.
awesome.
Big shout out to Nico.
But I mean, you have to kind of look at yourself and say, I potentially am the front runner in this. You're what, 7 points back from Francis,
Yeah.
who once again played in both the kickoff and the
And-
mid-season,
yeah.
and you're
He got-
7 points behind.
He got 16 points in total from mid-season and kickoff.
A couple trainer. I'm gonna answer for Chris. I definitely think that he's the front runner right now, based off of his current streak, where he's at. The man is. I'm gonna say fact.
It can honestly go to anybody up there.
I think so too.
I
I
think so.
don't know. I think Terry is a dark horse. I don't think enough people realize how good Terry is. Francis, on the other hand, it really just depends on if he calls the right deck for that, and because that's what he's really been doing is just meta decking like crazy.
I don't know, man. He's been playing Dark for a long time.
He's been...
Okay, maybe that's the wrong terminology, but he's made great deck choices heading into certain events that have garnered him.
He's been on the Darkrai train.
He's been on Darkrai.
I don't see him leaving the Darkrai train.
You feel like that's going to be his thing for the rest of the season?
I think that's going to be his. It's like Mike with season 1.
No.
Yeah.
No. He's got some spice cooking. We're cooking together.
Oh gosh. Okay, so he's not going to make it.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Team Lou's pretty bad.
No. It got better. It got better. Just wait.
So
We'll see.
here, okay, then we're one of the last factor fictions that I want to get into. Factor fiction, as a top player, top trainer in the Elite 14, it is better to trainer battle trainers outside of the top 14 than it is to battle trainers in the top 14. Chris, go.
I'm gonna say fiction. That's irrelevant because some of these people they can't make it. I mean, I realistically only play like 2 tournaments a week, if that.
Facts.
So that's I don't think that's a fair assumption.
Yeah.
You can lose to anybody. You could brick to anybody.
Yep.
I mean, the 2 trainer battles I won were because both of my opponents bricked.
Who did you trainer battle?
Apaya?
Yeah, Apple.
Well,
Out of the top 14, who was the other one?
And Luis.
Yeah. Okay, so you split. You split both of those.
So,
in all fairness, when he did the trainer battle with Apple, he was also out of the top 14.
Touche.
I was, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
all right. What do you say? Do you think trainer battling? If I'm in the Elite 14, right? Like, so Francis Bautista, he's probably doesn't have to do it right now because there's no risk for him.
He's never going to.
Yeah,
Yes.
You don't have to. But if you're UT, going after Francis is definitely a good thing. But he's not going to do it.
Yeah.
If you lose to somebody in the top 14, or the Elite 14, you're just making you're giving the person that's already placing really well.
Yeah.
More.
Yeah.
Is it better to trainer battle to risk it against trainers that aren't in the top 14? So if you do lose, you're not having to worry about someone gaining too much ground or more ground.
I also think it depends on what your ultimate goal is. If your ultimate goal is, so like mine is to have first place for points so I can get points later. But to get that first or second, that way you can get the bye for round 1 of top 14. For me, I feel like it would be easier to play someone like in the lower than 14. One, just so you don't give whoever's ahead of you or below you too much ground. But also, since Francis isn't going to play anybody, it also just gives you a chance to try and climb ahead of them. Because again, I'm trying to go for like first place in points because the trophy is named after me. So I would kind of want that. But like I've been just trying to play people who I feel like would be in the top 14. So that's just where my head's at when it comes to it.
All right. Well, it sounds like we kind of got some good back and forth on the factor fiction. Mike making it or winning the points cup sounds like both of you guys said fiction. New faces, half of them at least being into the top 14. I think fiction fiction for fact for T, fiction for Davis. Davis winning it all.
Yeah,
fact
fiction.
for me.
Fiction.
T says fiction. And then
I got one.
It sounds like both of you kind of agree. It's fiction. It's more of I guess, where you're at in any given situation to battle somebody versus trying to target certain groups of trainers that may or may not be in. So, all right, I guess we can call it that. So we'll go ahead and end that segment, and we'll go straight into Deck Out, which once again is just us talking about the top stories that are heading into the final weeks of the season, with I think the number one being, just a reminder to everybody, the award show, the SPL Award Show, and the SPL Championship Series will be hosted at Hammerhead Games on September 17th, both on the same day. So we really would love to have everybody come out. For anybody that doesn't make it into the Elite 14, we're going to be giving out awards, and hopefully we might be able to do something when it comes to food, maybe a potluck or something like that. But it's just going to be a really fun time had by all, and we get to see the top trainers play along with some other ones.
The player appreciation tournament.
Appreciation tournament. Yeah, I switched it to award show because I thought it was funny. So like the SPL Trainer Award Show.
Yeah.
And then we just hand out awards, but it's an appreciation thing.
Yeah.
So we have that going on. T, you still have some shirts, right?
Yes, I still have shirts. So if you have not seen me to pick up your shirts for your SPL registration, please find me. I am at most shops most of the week, so just hit me up if you're going to be at a shop. I got you.
All right, perfect. Thank you for that. And then I think from there, the other one was keychains, because I know we had a couple people asking about those. We're still giving those out.
Yep.
T has them. We still have dice available as well.
Yep.
And aside from that, I'm trying to think if there was one other thing that we were supposed to talk about for Deck Out, but I can't remember. Which is wonderful. Oh, we still have a raffle.
Yes.
We still have a raffle. We're going to go ahead and raffle something away. You'll probably see a video about that, or at least a post in the Discord in the next few days. Look for this video to be edited and come out sometime tomorrow. Maybe Friday.
And then, real quick, just to refresh my memory, the keychain gets you 5% off at Hammerhead, right?
So, no, 10% off now. 10% off for
There
singles.
was that update.
6%
Just singles.
Yeah, 6% at USG, and then 5% at CCC.
Correct.
For anybody that does go. Thank you very much for bringing that up.
And it's just singles.
Just singles.
Okay.
But until then, guys, we really appreciate you watching and following along with us. Huge shout out to Chris for coming in and being a part of the crew tonight.
Thank you for having me.
This is a rare occasion, so you guys are very lucky for this.
Very lucky.
Very lucky. Daddy came to play. And then we have my co-host and my buddy over there, T, Thunder Cheeks Watson. And we'll go ahead and close it out like that. We will see everybody at Locals.
Deuces.
Peace.